Rumble. Yeah, right. She's got it. And Karen, you're with us as well?
I'm here.
And you just got back from Florida.
Yeah, I did. I wasn't ready for winter.
I bet not. A little bit of a contrast, eh?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started, you guys. Minutes. Everybody get a chance to review? Additions, corrections, or do we need a motion?
I move to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Larry.
They're very long, but good.
But good. Okay, okay. We need a second. Anybody's ready?
Second. Are you reading?
No, I read.
I did too. I was reading them this afternoon. If Larry says.
All right, we have a first and a second. Sounds like they're good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're good with the minutes. Public hearings, we have none. And like we talked about, we will just keep moving, and Dave comes. Does he go by Dave or David? Dave. 4A is the exterior maintenance inspection of our local landmarks, and Larry has historically taken a walk,
We walk.
and you walked with CJ, right?
Right.
So CJ probably learned a little bit through the course of the walking.
Just a little bit.
Oh, so it was a beneficial thing for you.
Oh, I mean, yeah, of course. This guy's like a walking encyclopedia when it comes to Woodland Park.
So how did it come out overall? Pretty
It
good?
came out overall pretty good. There's certain buildings that still on the main street that need a little maintenance or a paintbrush or whatever, you know. But nothing's happened since the last time.
But nothing major, nothing.
But we do have animals under
Yeah.
the Stefan. There's a nest under there that needs fumigating. I don't know what kind of animals, but
Yeah, and I can go through this here real quick too,
go
so
ahead.
you guys can see here.
CJ's in charge.
So we'll just kind of go down the list too, and you received the copy of our inspection report within your guys' packet. So the brazen head plaque is visible, chimney looks good, so this one looked very, very good. UPass Cultural Center, everything looked good as well, so no updates there. So this is the front of stuff right here. So there was nothing that we saw in the front here. So this is what Larry was alluding to in the back. So this is the north side of the building. So these holes need to be filled in. And like Larry said, either fumigated or some sort of mitigation measure. So I'm guessing raccoons are getting in there, especially this time of year, right? So I'm sure it's a little bit warmer and shielded from the weather. So.
Well, I would think CPW could offer some help with trapping Colorado Parks and Wildlife.
Yeah, I can make that note too, for
And
sure.
we have,
Peanut butter on bread works pretty good
Yeah.
with a trap.
yeah, with a trap, and they can be relocated. I'm sorry, I forgot the officer's name, that's in our area. But the, Woodland Park PD should have the name and number of our local officer, CJ.
Yeah, and I can look that up too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ian is up where I'm at, is he down this far?
We have two in Teller now.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm not sure, Ian, and that's right. One does the northern part of the county and one the southern part. There are so many issues that Teller County, little tiny Teller County has two wildlife officers. There's so many issues. Okay,
So yeah, that was the Steffa cabin that, some problems that we found here. So, and this is the Immer cabin here. So I think this is still left over from last year, but just need a little bit of, like Larry said, just a quick paintbrush would do that a lot of good. So that's on the north side as well. And then I actually took this picture today, Larry, and I think we might have missed this during our walk, but I saw these benches were pretty dilapidated, so a coat of paint on there would look very good as well. So if you agree, I'll keep it on there.
Keep it on there.
Okay, sounds good.
Keep it on.
So next we have the Brockhurst, and just like last year, we had the same comment, plaque is visible and appears to be maintained. So next we have the Caldus here, and these are left over from last year as well, unfortunately, so the sign just needs to be updated, and nice sanding would, I think, do that a lot of good. And then I think in the future, the roof would definitely need to be replaced because that looks a little rough as well.
Hold on. Comment on that.
Okay,
I can tell you that the Historical Society wants a rusted corrugated metal that's that narrower gauge, so because it's more
Sure.
realistic to what it was originally.
sure,
You can see where there was a patch put on there.
yeah,
Actually, the Historical Society approached me 10 years ago for a piece of rusted that might match so that they could replace that and get rid of that newer piece. I believe, and I provided a piece, and I believe it's inside of that building and leaning up against the wall, I think, or somebody got rid of it. So there was, at that point in time, a desire to keep it more rusted, just like it is. So I think
Okay.
we need to be hesitant about what's normal or I think we need to confer maybe with the group.
You could buy brand new
Yeah.
corrugated sheet metal that is treated where it'll rust within, I think it's 9 months, I think, or
Something
I can't
like that.
remember.
Exactly, you can. So that might be something that the Historical Society might want to look into doing, so there's that uniformity. But one of the things, that corrugated metal on that roof right now is the old, narrower ribbed, thicker material. The new stuff you buy today is crap. It's whiter and it's super thin, so that probably still has more life in it than some of the newer stuff.
Yeah, that new stuff is thinner for sure, but I got some, I don't know if it'll match up with that, but I got some at home that I keep for things like this.
And I got upload of it too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, I just do. But, so I think I'm just cautioning what our comments are by identifying that as an issue. That patch has been on there for 10 years.
I mean, is that something that the committee wants to take off as far as that comment goes and replacing the roof and kind of check back in it next
Maybe check
year?
back another year, but for sure the sign is so weathered from being in the sun, you know. But
What is the sign supposed to say?
Supposed to say whatever, 1890, whatever.
1891, town.
Okay.
Just a new sign, or embellish the sign so you can read it.
So, but Larry, what have we done as a committee in the past when you would walk around with Sally? Did some of this information go back to any of the property owners?
Like, I know last year, in the past, so, you know, we have these comments, or Larry gives us the comments, and depending on like where it is, if it's a privately owned property like the Cowhand or Dana's Dance, we email them directly saying, hey, we did this walkthrough, these are our recommendations. I mean, by code, we can't tell them, hey, you have to do this or else.
Right.
Last year, there was a few people that kind of just said, no, I'm not doing that. So that's why those comments are the same. Then there was a few, like the city-owned properties, we just put a work order in, which I haven't done yet because I wanted to meet with you guys. Also, all of our manpower right now is on Lake Street and all the other streets in town, as you guys are well aware. So I don't think anything would happen right this moment anyways. But so, and as you'll see too on the, let's see, the museum center, the comments from last year were crossed out because they did fix a few things at the museum center.
So this committee through the planning office then must have contacted the Historical Society about these buildings?
See, particularly since many of these are city-owned,
Right.
then the city has to take it up from there.
So,
Historical Society leaves it in the city's hands to maintain their building, per se.
Oh,
Unless there's historical significance to the building that the Historical Society say, well, this really needs maybe
Okay.
more
See,
historical.
if this has never really circled back to us as a committee, and
Gotcha.
so that's why I'm asking these questions, because.
Yeah, and to preface that too, like as far as the planning department goes, all we can do is put in a work order.
Right,
You know,
gotcha,
whether they decide that's a priority or not,
gotcha.
you know, that's not Karen's or I's purview. We
Gotcha.
don't have any jurisdiction over what they do
I
on a
get
day
it.
to day, so. But, all we can do is nudge them in the right direction, right? So, and so, but. So the Carroll Den, so the plaque is visible and the building appears to be well maintained and, the comment here was, you know, maybe a railing on one or both sides of this one, I think would be very good, right? Larry?
As a historical building, so the historical society is responsible for. We own, have in charge only certain buildings in this department, and the Brockers.
Okay,
So, yep, the Maytag House, nothing has changed since last year. It looks good. The plaque is visible, as you guys can see it right here. Same with the Carroll Den, everything looked good there. So speaking of the museum center, so this first picture on the left is actually what the city fixed based off of the recommendation of this committee last year. So if you guys remember, there were some screws here. They put in a new railing, but they screwed the screws up the wrong way, north and south. So when you run your hand against it, the tips of the screws
Clear
were,
skin.
yeah, the tips of the screws were, you know, facing upwards, so they fixed that. And the deck seems to be very well maintained and pretty new. So the comment this year was the eastern side deck definitely needs to be replaced or a good sanding and painting to match what's newer. So that was the first section. And then the second section, so like that's one of those things, right? What's the priority? So they fixed the railing. Last year, this was a comment too, to kind of just do a nice sand and repaint on these slats too. And so same comment. Onto the post office, so Dana's Dance. This was one of the comments that, you know, we received last year, and we're going to be sending the same message to the landowner this year. Dilapidated door and some paint on the window wells. So.
she hasn't agreed to be designated. Where's the plaque on her place?
Let's see, I have it on this other one here.
I didn't think she had agreed to. For some reason,
I don't remember, you're right, Lori, I don't remember seeing it
I
outside.
don't think she is, because we've been trying to get.
It is, National
My
Historic
memory's
does,
going, but,
No, she said, the last time that she went.
right, she said, we shouldn't be, if she's not designated, we better not be dinging her.
Well, I have in our internal system here, ordinance 1325, series 2018. So if there's an ordinance at 210 West Midland, which is the US Post Office, then it should be designated.
we don't have a plaque there.
I think she's designated. We gotta look into that, guys.
Who's in charge on that?
We can contact the foundry and we can find out who all they did plaques for.
Okay.
That would be the way we could do it.
Okay. Make that note.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, that's a good. So this is the Cowhand, the Terrell Mercantile. So again, the same comment from last year. Some paint on these window ledges would be great. And this is a new comment here. So again, this would be like a great city function to do. So since the city owns a sidewalk, to clean this up a little bit. I think, like you put it back in October, it's not very welcoming, and you know.
It's not very welcoming, it's like we're falling apart. You know, and like you say, we're supposed to make it user-friendly and welcoming. It's like, oh my God, it's becoming one of those Western movies, little ghost town with all that.
So, The Midland Terminal Depot, so this has changed since Larry and Bert did the walk last year, as the plaque is up, and the windows have been boarded up, so there was really no comments that we had on this one, and the work that needs to be done is on hold, as everyone's aware, so, but yeah. El Dorado Casino, nothing's changed here, this one looked good, and the plaque is visible. And lastly, we have the Roberts House, so, and everyone knows, I think we beat that one to death here, in the last couple months,
And
but
the plaque is on hold.
the plaque is on hold.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah. So, and that's all we had. Larry, do you have
thank you.
anything else to say?
Well, thank you for your comment on me being on the mural.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Now we do seek and find my face on the mural.
How fast did I do it? Pretty quick, huh?
Pretty quick.
So that's everything that I had on that. So like I said, we'll reach out to the private landowners on this list, as well as submit a work order to Nicole here in our office, and they'll, put it on their priority list. So
So who's gonna verify Damon's?
I can definitely look into that, Lori, but who did you say to contact as far as the plaque goes?
I am surmising that you guys have not found Sally's file folder for the bronze plaques.
I think I did last.
It's back on the East Coast. I'll send you the information
Okay,
because I found it. I
okay,
got it.
perfect.
So let me make myself a note. And they should have a record of all of the plaques
That have been made for
that
us.
have been made for us because they've made them all.
Okay,
But it was in Erie, Pennsylvania, maybe? It's somewhere back there, but I'll get it to you, CJ. Okay, 4B, so Dave's not here, but just to correct, Teller County Historic Preservation Committee is not called the Teller County Historic Preservation Committee. It's referred to as the Coalition. And technically, it's actually Teller Historic and Environmental Coalition. And I think we need to refer to it the right way.
yeah, and I apologize about David not being here. Like I said, I spoke with him last week, and he
Sure.
said he's gonna be here, but
No problem.
things happen. So if he doesn't show up today, I'll just try to contact him and get him on the schedule for December.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
The 2025 work plan. CJ handed this out a new copy. And this is just a recap, right? There's nothing,
Yeah, there's nothing that's been added or changed or anything like that for the past 2 meetings that you guys have seen this. So
Right.
we were just really looking for approval of this, and the budget today, I think, was the direction that you guys were thinking about going last month.
so how about we jump to the budget because
Yeah.
hopefully you guys are gonna have more information for us on the budget.
Yep. So I can find my copy. So if you guys are all looking at the budget, I want to point you towards 2 places of things that have changed. Under the Junction House, the asbestos abatement, we have this number has changed to 11,900. So that grant application was submitted in October this year, as we know. So that's what the draft budget has, or that's what we have for the Junction House. And then the baggage building, we changed this to 0 since we decided we're not doing anything on that this year. So the budget has changed from that 12,000 to 14,800. So those are the 2 changes that have been made. So a little more money in that.
So was it got rounded to 11,900, but the exact number that if we get the match is $10,039 or something like that?
Right.
But this is just rounded
Yeah,
up.
just rounded. So in the draft budget that is going to go to council, that number is 14,800. So which was a little more than last year, so it's just nice.
Yes.
And, you know, like we talked about last month, obviously it's not approved yet, but that's what's in the draft budget, so.
How did we do on our budget last year?
As far as what we spent,
Mhm.
well, it's on here, so the 2024 budget and estimate, I mean, it was pretty minimal, it seems like. We had $800 for the theme poster, which was the biggest expense, actually. 61 for plaques.
But that's what we actually spent?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, well, 2024 is not over yet, so we haven't actually calculated the 2024 actual. But, you know, to date, that's what we have expended in 2024.
So the May Preservation Month or other this year, that 358.39, was that related to the banner that-
Yes, that was the new banner.
that Steve helped us get?
Yep.
Okay. And then the $540.74 was the travel up to Saving Places.
Correct.
And then the contingency down at the bottom, the $86, that was to help over at the cemetery with glue and paste and twine and baling wire, right? Okay.
Yep.
So, and the one thing that's kind of an unknown for us is the cost of the plaques. We just kind of carry that forward. So until we don't know yet,
Right.
for sure. So it could be low.
Is Deacon an estimate for the plaques?
Yeah, so far, but they're clear out and left field. So, so with the work plan then in this new budget then, CJ, you guys are feeling that this is pretty much where we're at?
Correct.
And what council will approve and where we're at? So we
Correct.
just need to, as a committee, formally just kind of adopt it
Correct.
or approve it?
Yeah, so we just need a motion, a second, and a vote, and we double checked right before this meeting. Last year, it was the November meeting where the budget was approved too, so we're kind of on par with what we did last year as far as timing goes.
Okay. Any more comment or discussion on the work plan or the budget? I presume, Steve, we have not heard anything back on that grant.
No,
At
not
this
yet.
point, not yet. So,
They had all of the month of October. My deadline was October 1st.
right.
And they had all of the month of October for public comment.
Oh.
So now that deadline has passed. Actually, it was the 29th of October. And now they're hopefully soon.
Cool.
And then, thanks for asking that question, Laura, because I have an email from Karen. She had some talks with Kimberly Burson in our office, so you guys know. So I just want to read you this real quick regarding the Roberts House. So this is Karen speaking. Per a conversation I had with Kimberly today, the state is reviewing the grant application for the Roberts House. They emailed to confirm the property owner, which is the city, was aware and comfortable with the condition of the grant should it be awarded. The condition is for 10 years after the grant, the property owner will need to obtain approval from the state for any changes to either the building, interior, or exterior. So, and then Karen goes on to say that, you know, she's comfortable with the condition, especially since the city does not have any clear programming for the building or the property. So, just to throw that out there, the good news is the state received it and they're looking at it, so.
No surprise there, right?
No, it's all.
Just want to let you know.
Okay, cool, thank you. So, yes,
Why is, so the baggage building is just basically dropped?
because of the park
Oh, yeah.
issue
about that.
with, and the DDA and the Park and Rec and Cindy Keita's department is gonna head up the development of renovation of and lead a process. And CJ, I imagine there must be money in the budget for a consultant to be brought in to lead that process.
I believe so, and yeah, that'd be coming out of the Parks Department's budget, not planning. So,
Right.
And
So I'm
That's
not sure the finer details in that, but I know the consultant definitely is.
then this is Karen. Hey, when you guys look at your work plan, that baggage building, while it's not a live project for this year, for this group, with regard to, the MEPs and that scope of things, it is listed in your work plan under item number F2, future project. So it's still on your radar very clearly. So the goal is to get through the park re-envisioning, and with the active grant application right now for the Roberts House. So when those two things play out a little bit further, we'll be circling back to this one.
Thank you for reminding us, it's still on there. But it's not front and center where we originally had thought we would want those matching grant $12,000 original number, maybe going to 2. So we're gonna have to play in the sandbox with the public process. Okay. So, can we lump them together, the work plan and the budget, as presented today?
That works for me.
So I need a motion to approve.
Do one at a time or both together?
CJ says it's okay with him.
Yeah, we can do them both together, just a motion to approve the 2025 budget and the 2025 work plan would be great.
I so move we approve the work plan for 25 and the budget for 25.
Can we put dates on these or something so that we know these are the most recent, or how do you guys identify these as being the most recent?
Internally, I have a date on them, like in our system. So when I print them off, like open the document, I print them off, I know for sure this is the most recent one. When you sign those, I will scan that in and it'll be a PDF, never to be touched again until 2026, when we make the new budget, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So Larry made a motion to approve both the work plan and the budget as presented today. Need a second?
Second.
Thank you, Eric. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Okay. So, okay, we still have on our list the Templeton Cemetery Restoration Plan. Steve did send some info to CJ on the video and some of the work that you guys were doing on Templeton, right?
No, not on Templeton, we didn't have a video.
No, I didn't see the video on Templeton.
We didn't have a video on Templeton.
Pictures?
Yeah.
Just pictures, it was just
Yeah.
pics, okay. So we still have an action item to try to couch or put together an actual where we've been, what we've done, and where we ultimately think that we would like to go. So that we actually have a plan
Specifically
to
to
Templeton. Okay, I think that's actually on our work plan. Under projects, P2, Templeton Cemetery formalized restoration plan for Templeton Cemetery. So it's just a formalization to just document it to say, hey, here's what we think we might be trying to do. So for example, Eric's interaction with the golf course. We know we have an issue with, who was it?
Greg DeYoung, Greg.
Well, but on the plat, it wasn't given to anybody. It wasn't
Oh,
designated
yes,
as it
yeah.
goes to, so that needs to be made a note of. So that all the information about Templeton's just in one place. So, make a note made of that, and that, things like, Steve's contacted the professor at Colorado School of Mines with the intent of doing some ground penetrating radar. We have permission from Mr. Brown. What else? And then what we potentially could even do then with the marking of various, we think there's X number of children's grave sites, and then you guys, the talk about whatever you can do with markers. We need some more material. So what the future plan might be so that we can bring it, are we thinking about a fence? What would that look like? Would the owner have to participate in that? Would we have to look for a grant for that? But then there's the whole thing about public access. Is public access even a feasibility, or would we be just doing this for this little, for the recognition?
I think you need to protect it,
Exactly. So,
for sure, whether you get access or not.
right. But what I'm saying is we have not formalized a plan of what our intention would be with Templeton. And part of it could be what we could imagine. History, good, bad, and ugly. This is an ugly part of some history with Templeton. And in terms of then maybe just how does it get written up and documented into the Woodland Park area archives?
You know, nobody knows that it's actually bad concerning Andrew
I'm
Templeton.
just throwing it out.
Yeah, I know you are, but I just want to say this, that, when you're in the military, in the army,
Oh,
you gotta do what they tell you to do, or you're gonna get
Right.
shot.
Well, I guess all I'm saying is we should document that he served in the cavalry, and he apparently was at,
He was.
okay, so he was at Sand Creek Massacre. And so my point is, shouldn't we encourage wherever writing up the history falls, whether it's the Historical Society or whether it's us, but somewhere in our notes with what we're trying to do, I think it's just having an overall plan. That restoration plan might take a different turn after we get the ground penetrating radar, depending on what they find. But if we at least had a plan, thumbnail sketch of what we're trying to do, it would make it easier for grants. It would make it easier for us when we talk to city council or whomever about what we're doing. Because right now, we pretty much run by the seat of our pants on this. And I think the intent was to formalize the plan.
So it never was dedicated as a cemetery, so that when Steve Elak looked into it, that was
Right.
found out. Well, I think it should be replatted.
So those are the types of things that we should write up in a plan, look into the feasibility of getting it replatted, or who would do that, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm just saying that's why this is on here, so that we can continue that conversation.
Yeah, we need to, especially if it's replatting, because that'd be a process.
Mhm.
But it'd be a good idea to clean up the golf course. What is that, 2? Is that fairway 2 that's on, is
There's often
encroaching
two, yes.
into the cemetery property a lot, and why not clean that up? And I can help with that, but like you said, we need to keep it on the radar and move forward with it.
Well, we just need to identify a plan, and then if we're going to ask for, or if we've already asked for that, disc, what's it called?
Yeah, the frisbee
To
golf
move that
net or whatever.
net or basket a little ways out of the,
It needs to be off the way.
so that was something we were concerned about, and if they'd be willing to move
I don't
that.
remember if it's a basket right there, or if it's one of the launching.
It's a basket and a tee box, I think they would, I don't know what the frisbee
I don't know
would
what
call
to call
You
them.
it.
think
But there's
they're
a,
both
there's a
there?
little, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I measured them and can show where they are. But one's like they probably call it a tee. But there's a basket, and then there's a place where you go. I don't know if it's a little platform that you throw your frisbee on, I guess. So yeah, it needs to go out of there, in my opinion. I mean,
Well, should I ask you two to work together to sketch something out?
yeah,
Just
that's,
what we've done, thought process, what needs to be done or considered. And then we got Steve as a resource to add to it. It's really just documenting what we've done, guys, and what we would like, the questions we want to answer. And that we feel that it should be protected.
and I've asked about access, and that might ought to be brought up, but I directly asked if there could be access, but
Yeah, that's.
not yet, haven't had it. I mean,
Yeah.
but it can't be landlocked, right? unless they go through your property.
I don't know what those, I don't know what those requirements would be. to
I think if
landmark.
it's a plat, that's when we'll get with Karen and
Yeah, but
CJ
see,
and go
but-
see
but
what we want to do.
I don't care what, any of the answers are to any of that from the standpoint of, we just need something kind of mapped out as to what we're following
The plan.
and the questions we're asking to help it move forward, that's all.
Yeah, I'm fine. We can do that.
Cool, thank you, let's do that. So, for some reason, I thought what you sent was, no, you guys took still pictures at Templeton, which you're right, okay, cool.
We regret not doing videos.
It was hot, right? And you had your
Really hot.
tent up and it was really bad.
And Steve did send that Templeton Cemetery history packet too, which is super helpful.
Yeah, so that could be part of it, so that's what I'm thinking of.
That's what you're thinking of.
Yeah. And we can make that part of this too. Anything else on that, guys?
I got 2 stones to put up. Yeah.
We're out there?
Yeah, one for Lacey and the other one for Workman, is it?
I think that was it.
Can't remember for sure. But when I put them in, I'm gonna dig like a hole and pour some cement into a hole, maybe drive a piece of rebar or something and pour some cement in it up flush, and then set the stone on that so nobody could remove it. So, because they're just rocks this big,
Okay,
yay high and yay thick, they vary, but if somebody, they've stolen headstones before, and a lot of the cemeteries I worked in, because somebody's name, oh, that's same as my dad's name or something, let's do a joke, or
mhm,
we'll put it in his front yard and give him some whatever, you know, but they do steal them, so.
okay.
So I
Well,
would cement that down.
so that should be included in the identifying, even who's been identified so far, or thinking who might be in there.
There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names that we know are there, and out of those 5, 1, 2, only 3 we know what plot they are.
3 out of the 5, you know which one, okay.
Like Andrew Templeton,
Mhm.
we didn't know we could go by a photograph we have from 1955 and get it in the neighborhood, but it's
Sure.
not on his plot more
It's
than
just an
likely.
educated guess.
Yeah. And that'll be the way it is for Workman too.
Okay.
Lacey, I know right where it goes.
Cool. Well, that's the type of thing we get our arms around, just, cool, thank you. Okay, so you've got those 2 stones. We still have, we met the gentleman last month from over here at the old community church, or I'm not sure what we're calling it, 107 West Henrietta Avenue. And do we have any update on what they want to do yet, or we just kind of,
No, they're just trying to, figure out how to keep things moving and haven't been, particularly aggressive on getting anything done. But as a result of their hardship of finding out that the roof had to be totally rebuilt and redone.
really?
Expensive, just can't capacity. So I don't know what fights they're going on with arguments of non-disclosure on buying it, so like that, so they haven't gotten back with me on the applications.
Okay, so they're very consumed with this, yeah,
Yeah.
business of it. Okay.
Yeah, and we let them know if you had any questions or wanted to fill out that application, to come to us and we can walk them through that too, David, so.
I have it ready to go, it just needs their
Oh, you got it ready
signature.
to rock, okay, perfect, gotcha.
I just do it.
Cool.
All right,
Well, and so if they do want the designation, then we will have another reason to get an estimate from the foundry back east too. Cool.
Now, they're totally open to they were liking it, they were, I passed on the articles that Steve rounded up, and so on, they're very interested, and, have named it Henrietta, and, it's just struggles of in the business. The
Name
front-end
what,
expenses.
the building?
That's what they wanna name it, the Henrietta.
I think it was inspired by Henrietta being part of the founder and the street name and all of that. So they're well intended, just they don't know. They're struggling with getting things done.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Is that something you want to keep on the agenda for next time too? As far as just checking in or? Larry?
I think you should keep it on, just to keep us in
Okay.
flow. Maybe something's not happening, but no,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
really do.
Well, Dave's here to give us an update if
Right,
something's
yeah.
changed.
No problem.
Perfect.
Okay, and I think we talked about on the Roberts house,
Yeah, that's.
where we're at right now in the whole process. Nothing new to add to where we were with that, right? Okay.
I'd like to add H on there. What's the story in the advancement on the Voss building? Is there anything happening with the Voss building at all? With the DDA and the demolition, or? It's like it's not happening right now, is it?
Wasn't it in the paper since last time we met here?
No,
Yes. Yeah.
Karen had been to the DDA meeting, and with the DDA recommendation, the demolition, but then Lori mentioned in the last meeting, somebody did about the high cost for demolition of the building for the city to pay to have this vacant lot.
Well, my understanding was out of the DDA had an action item to, and I guess probably Aaron took the action item, that looking into what would it be entail to do a demo. Because I think he said he was unfamiliar with that type of thing. And some of the discussion that I had heard around that was demoing a building could cost upwards of $300,000 very easily. And the flip side of that is, well, if you're gonna pay to demo it, then why don't you look into the monies possibly to get help from the State Historical Fund and totally reinvent it another direction. But my understanding was somebody was interested in buying it. That's what I had heard, which if that was the process, that whole effort would go on hold.
That's what Tony Perry told me.
So,
Everything's on hold then.
so if there's someone interested in buying the building, because right at that same time, somebody was shown the building, and that's what we kind of had heard. I haven't heard anything since then.
I'm supposed to have lunch with him tomorrow, maybe I can find something out.
Okay, see if somebody is
Yeah,
interested.
but if it's blizzarding out, I'll probably stay home.
Sure. So, CJ, do you know of anything that has trickled through to you guys in planning about this?
As far as I'm concerned, no. I'm not aware of anything.
So we probably ought to just make sure that we touch stone on the Voss building every time, just so we know, because if it falls into this, Tony might have just been pushing the whole demo thing just to try to get it off dead center. How serious? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because he also could be talked into probably being part of saving it too.
If there's a financial gain, then that's
Yeah.
on Baker line.
Well, exactly. But if you go into saving places and the whole concept of history, creating a place of interest and a reason to stop, which feeds the placemaking effort, then it is of value. And what you have to do is show that return on investment.
Does Woodland Park have a motto of some sort on preservation like Teller County does? Something that we could really throw up in their face.
Boy. Not that I know. But you know what we should do? You guys look at the resolution that formed this committee. It's on the website, it's on the city website, and in the preamble to that, the reason it's being formed, and the reason this committee was formed was to save the old Brazen Head building. And it was listed, all the reasons why it was important and what our mission is. There might be something in there that we can bring right back around to them. So I had printed a copy out one time ago, I don't even know where it is, but no, really, go to the city website, go to our Historical Preservation Committee, and our bylaws are right there. And in the first couple of paragraphs, I think the verbiage is there. You think I'm right, Karen?
It's right under Article 1, Purpose.
Read it.
The purpose of the Woodland Park Historic Preservation Committee, hereafter the committee, will be to constitute a qualified advisory group to assist the city council in analyzing and determining the policies and plans of action in the areas of protection and preservation of the historical and cultural heritage of the city of Woodland Park through the historic landmark designations, orderly and effective acquisition, preservation, and management of all significant historical documents, artifacts, and structures, regulation of alteration, relocation, removal, or destruction of historic significant sites or artifacts, encouragement and provision of educational opportunities to increase the appreciation and understanding of the unique heritage of the city of Woodland Park and surrounding areas, and other projects as requested by City Council. Its purpose was established through adoption of Ordinance 607, Series 1994.
Okay, so there's something in there that surely council and maybe management and city would benefit from being reminded of what our own bylaws say, what was charged with. So it's right there, I think. Okay, so we shouldn't forget that it's there. And we can reference it whenever we need to, because it's a full circle. Also, the comp plan has some things in there. The comp plan has some things in there regarding history and regarding preservation. Comprehensive plan, comp plan we did. Is it dated 2020?
2022?
We did one in, was it 2010? And then we did every 10 years, and the comp plan identifies the key areas. And there's 13, there are 13 chapters to that, if I remember correctly.
2022.
Okay, well, it was due in 20, and I think we got it done in 22, something like that. So it's good for another 10 years. So it's got to be done again around 2030. So the comp plan has 13, I think, joint chapters. Is that okay?
That's pretty good.
That's because I had to write a lot of 13. I just remembered it was the damn last one in the thing.
Yeah.
So 13, arts, culture, and community heritage. I believe there's some stuff, verbiage in there that we as a committee could also refer back to, because it ties the historical preservation committee with the UPass Historical Society, along with the Woodland Park Arts Alliance, and
There's
But-
Larry's picture.
there's Larry's picture. So it would be worth going back, guys, to tie the comp plan with our bylaws for this committee. Those are the city's own words that really need to go back.
Yeah.
Because this is what we have to use to justify what we're doing. Okay, so these are the two documents, our bylaws, comp plan, chapter 13. The comp plan is also on the city website, right, CJ?
Yep, correct. So it's under departments, planning and building, and the plans and maps. And it's
Plans and maps, really? That's where it lives?
the Woodland Park Comprehensive Plan, yeah.
Kind of buried. Plans and maps,
If you're lost, give me a shout. No, I can send you a link.
okay.
Those two things will help. help for
They,
sure.
well, they definitely help, and there's not been any groups championing the effort to tie these documents together. Main Street was a champion of taking 3 or 4 different documents. One was the Parks and Rec master plan, one was the comp plan, one was, there's a couple other things. And trying to make those documents have more life to them. And saying, hey, this is what was put together by the citizens of the community. But that got all lost through COVID. So, but those documents still exist, so they're still there for us to use and use as a reference point. And to use it for probably grants or the thought process of supporting some of the things we think of. Just throw that out there. Okay.
I can't wait to go read it. I wanna read it and see what it says, and we can really throw that up in their face.
It's not real long. The whole comp plan is really,
I could read more than 2 paragraphs.
I
so.
guess you can. But it's not long. It's very succinct. It's very succinct.
Before we go on to reports,
Yes.
where does the Save You Places discussion come into this agenda? Is that a reports or is that a?
Manager reports, yeah. I'll hit on
So
that.
you're gonna hit on that as well. Okay, so we get down to committee members' reports. I wanna just throw out, remember we had discussion about a plaque for Bert Bergstrom? And there is a plaque for Bert Bergstrom. It's on the north side of the restrooms. It's about this big.
What's it say?
I didn't even go by, I was gonna go take a picture, but it is on the north side
That's what CJ told me. too.
against the highway. And so if anybody was in the park, you couldn't see it. So that's where it got mounted. So there is a plaque and, Steve, were you the one that produced the articles that said there was going to be a plaque made for Bert?
Yeah, that was in a newspaper clipping.
Well, it did get made and it did get put up and, it is on that north side. So it's something we as a committee need to know that it exists. We need to see what it says. And with the development of the park, what our input's gonna be around that and that plaque and doing more. So I just wanted to throw that out because that was a loose end from our last meeting and I believe, we got some input. I think there are a few people out in the community that watch this meeting too, since it's on Zoom and they are keeping tabs on what we're doing. So, yeah, so, but I think it's recorded and I think we can go, watch it. I watched it later.
Yeah, it
Just
gets
to
posted to YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you can go
Not
just,
live.
if it's not live,
Okay.
but I think there are people that go watch our meetings after the fact. So just FYI. So I just wanted to make sure we knew that there is a plaque over there, and I know that word got distributed amongst us somehow. I don't remember that. We talked, and I wanted to share with everybody, Steve and I and Larry went to the Bright Awards banquet on October 20th. That was held at the Cultural Center. Thank you, Larry. And these were the awards that were given out. I'm gonna pass that around, you guys take a look at. But
I had to grab it.
Dave Martin, who's not here, emceed the program. And there was a presentations, I think there were 4 or 5 different awards that they gave out there. But it's in honor of Dee Bridenfeld. And Dee was a member of this group for many years, and she was kind of our bridge to the coalition. And so we always knew what the county was doing because she was very active. So it's part of that we're trying to get going again with Dave Martin. So anyway, that was there. There was probably 40-ish
There was 20 people there.
40.
I counted them.
You counted, yeah, well, then I had a good guess, didn't I? 'Cause I didn't
Yeah.
count. So it was Steve and I were both there. And Charlie Chambers, also from the Historical Society, along with Larry. Was there anybody else? Can't think of anybody else. Us three were there. So it was kind of cool. So I wanted to share that with you guys. So having said that, Linda, do you have anything to share with us?
Only
The
regarding
saving places, which is down in the Springs.
Mhm.
Right, okay. Eric, do you have anything to share with us?
I don't.
Okay, thank you. Larry?
I don't know what the relation was, but I was in the Historical Society a couple weeks ago. And Henrietta's, I'll call her her great niece was there. Henrietta of the building that owned the cabin there, Henrietta herself. Had like 3 husbands or whatever, but this was the great niece of Henrietta.
Okay.
I didn't get all the detail, but, she was thrilled, with what's happening, preservation of her heritage.
Cool.
But I'm planning to run for the gold, sign up to be on the committee for 4 more years. I have to have an application from, or is it already online? I don't know. Next month is my last meeting, then I have to appear before the city council to say why I want to be on the committee again. Because
This committee?
this committee,
This committee.
I'm up in
His term is
December.
up, January 1st.
Who else is up?
I actually just had that up, so.
I know I'm up.
So Lori's term expires January 1, 26. Larry, you expired January 1, 25, and so does Linda. So if you do want to re-up, which you're going to, right? Okay, good. I'll make a note to send you guys that application. And you can just submit it back to, I believe it's the clerk's office. I'll make sure of that. And then it'll just appear on the city council agenda. So you have to go to the city council. They'll just ask you a few
What
questions.
about Eric? We joined the same time.
And
That was a year later.
Eric,
Oh, you were at the same time?
Eric, Mr. Langley expires in 26.
So the 3 of us
You
are
already here.
26.
Yeah, I remember when you came your first meeting downstairs.
Mhm, I didn't realize that. Okay.
So,
Okay.
I remember you sad.
Unless, does the committee have any objection to ageism for me?
Goodness.
goodness.
I'd like to go for the gold in 2028. I really would.
Could we mount a plaque on you?
I get a plaque. Oh.
Yeah.
No, when it came up about doing the seminar and all that, I thought, I can't do that because I'm not a member of the committee. I have to be approved by city council to be legal.
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
okay.
So do I need to do anything at the moment? What do I need to do?
I'll send you a link to the application, so you just have to fill out the application again and submit it to the city clerk's office.
Okay.
Then they put you on a city council agenda, and they'll just ask you a few questions, and
It should be the same form that you filled out when you first applied.
Yeah.
And
I don't like the
It's the same form, it just requires.
But CJ should be able to get from Suzanne, the previous application should be on file, and you should be able to get a copy of it, so that you, if you wanted to, use it as a guideline to answer.
Oh, I'm gonna be much shorter answers this time.
Okay.
the application really is just to get in front of the council.
Yeah,
They're gonna say, we appreciate your,
Well, they asked too hard of questions last time. I didn't like it.
No, because I'm on the committee by 1 vote, that's why. The last council only approved me by 1 vote.
it's a different,
What?
guys, it's a different.
Now there's a different council, I'd like to be,
Why would they?
Well,
not?
why would, that doesn't make any sense.
well, this council at that time questioned my validity and my interest as being a member of this committee as they sat as a Zoom meeting. And I made it by 1 vote.
It's absurd.
That's insane.
But it's who was on the council at the time.
And I thought, because prior to that, Neil, when I appeared before council, he said, you don't have to talk, we know where you're at, sit down.
That's
I
what
didn't have to say anything when Neil was in charge.
They asked me all kinds of.
But I made my one vote,
It should be.
I hope so.
so,
Anything else, Larry?
no, that's my whole thing, I'm ready
Can I
to
go,
go.
can I
I'm
go?
Okay.
We might be there the same day.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Good time. David,
Yes,
anything to share with us?
that's enough from me for now.
Okay, cool. And so our next meeting, are we gonna try to get Dave Martinique in
Are you gonna do single
December?
places discussion?
Oh, sorry. We gotta do CJ's report.
Okay, first and foremost, Karen and I submitted the annual report for the CLG, so that was submitted, and we got an email that it was approved last week, so we've done our duty as far as what we need to do for the CLG report, so that's good news.
Cool, thank you.
So as you guys saw, I forwarded you the email on the scholarship for the Saving Places Conference. Since it is in our backyard and there is an opportunity for scholarship, would anyone else like to attend? I mean, so as far as process goes, I want to get a good, hey, I want to go and I will be there. And then we can try like hell to get those scholarships, and then, you know, hopefully we'll get a little and then have to spend a little out of the budget too. So since it is in our backyard, I mean, I know Linda's gonna be there.
What's the
I'm
date?
not gonna be there the whole time, it's 4 days this year.
What's the
Right.
dates? What are the dates?
January 29th to February 1st. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
I'd like to go on Friday, I don't want to do the whole thing,
Okay.
I don't want to do 4 days.
I don't wanna do 4 days either.
To me, it's exhausting, because you're so intense the whole time,
Exactly.
and you've been, and so I'd like to go on Friday, but I have to be approved by city council to be a member of the group.
Yeah, so do I. So we're not approved yet. The 2 people that wanna go.
Who else do people want to go, unless somebody else?
Somebody should be designated to go to the Saturday.
I'd like to do Friday.
What's Saturday?
It's a new thing, actually called History Colorado today.
Mhm.
And it's called Camp. And it's, there's something, it means something, but it's, let me get my email. Commission,
So it's commission.
Commission Assistance and Mentoring Program. So it's specific to CLGs, it's specific to people like us. Not CJ, I mean, CJ could be included. And the answer I got back from Lindsay today, because I said, well, what is it? And why are we doing 4 days? It's specifically tailored to local historic preservation commission members and staff. They're still working on the agenda, but sessions will include information on the role of the historic preservation committee in local communities. So it's what we do. Legal basis of preservation, historic preservation commission ethics, design review, design guidelines, preservation planning, and building public support for local preservation programs. So it's what we're doing every month, but I still don't know what the heck we're doing.
So this is
Well,
this is Karen. It was a number of years ago when I worked out in Brush that I actually went to one of those camp sessions. And if you guys had to pick one day to go, I would recommend that day, since it really does dive into the nuts and bolts of this committee, why we're here, how we function, a lot of those really good kind of background things, as opposed to the rest of the conference, which is fun and interesting to see what other communities are doing and projects. And I know, Linda, it's given you lots of food for thought on the times that you've gone. So if anybody wants to go to everything or whatever parts, speak up. But yeah, that camp day would be the one. If you only wanted to do one day, I would recommend that particular day.
Yeah, that seems, somebody needs to go to that.
So,
So that's an additional $45 per person. So the regular regular cost for the 3 days is $270. And then that is an additional $45. And it is per COG, not per individual. So I think that means that if you apply for that $1,000 grant, it can go to a number of people, not just to one person.
Right, and I believe I'll be attending that on Saturday. For what it's
But at
worth.
this point, we don't have to decide who goes to what thing, but we should, I mean, so right now you could designate 3 people on that application
Right,
and go for the whole 1,000 and see what happens.
is that what the scholarship is?
It's 1,000, but it's first come, first served basis, and it's prioritizing people who are going to camp.
right.
So you want at least one person going to that, just for the increased opportunity to get that scholarship.
So you have an interest to go. You just need to know.
I'm not gonna, yeah, but I'm not gonna go to all 4 days. That's just
I
too
don't
much.
know that any of us can go to all 4 days.
Yeah, we're just looking for, hey, I'm interested in attending.
Yeah.
So I can, Linda, myself, Larry.
I
Okay,
would.
And then we can figure out who goes to what
Mhm.
when. But, I don't know that, CJ, if, you know, like you wanna go to a Thursday session and I wanna go to a Friday session, do we both have to pay the $270 for the registration? I think we
I
do.
believe so.
If we have to do that, then I'll drop out, because I could possibly go another way too.
Yeah, let's just see,
Why don't you just see what you can do?
yeah, and so the deadline for applying for the scholarship is December 1st, so I wanted to just do this today, so we knew, like,
Yeah.
you know, I can put 3 or 4 people, and, I mean, $1,000 is the max, right? It's like,
Yeah.
we're not.
So there's no reason to not put you on there, and then we
Exactly.
can figure out next month who's registering for what.
Right.
Okay. Okay, is that everything on that? CJ, anything else?
Yeah, that's all that I had.
We don't have, Smitty's not with us today.
Yeah, he had a knee surgery yesterday.
Oh,
Knee surgery
so
yesterday.
he's going to give you some physical tests. Okay. Karen, do you have a report for us?
I had CJ set up to handle all that, and he's gone through everything for y'all.
Okay, cool. All right. Steve, anything else to add?
Other than I like keeping those things on the agenda so they don't get forgotten about.
Okay. Anything else? Next meeting is December
3rd.
Tuesday, December 3rd. With that, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Can we get out of here in the time?